Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to. And today we are talking about the latest stock market news updates so you can stay informed, so let's get right into it. According to my buddies over at Bloomberg, there is a whopping 50% difference between the most bullish analyst forecast and the most bearish estimates regarding the future of the S&P 500 stock market benchmark for the remainder of 2023. Citigroup in particular has cut its rating on US stocks to neutral from overweight. They are essentially warning investors of the potential recession risks, and they foresee a growth pullback as the artificial intelligence euphoria enters a more digestive phase. Some analysts think the stock market will crash, while others are more optimistic because they believe the growth is just getting started. As for me, I personally would agree with the more optimistic outlook because I believe the stock market will trend upwards. But with that being said, now let's get down to business and highlight some of the companies that are set to reveal their earnings this week. On Monday, get ready for some exciting news from WD-40, so it looks like good news is ahead for this stock, so feel free to look further into them. Then, on Thursday, we've got a jam-packed day with earnings announcements from Cintas, Conagra, Delta, Pepsi, and Progressive. Likewise, on Friday, companies like BlackRock, Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, United Health, as well as Wells Fargo will be stepping up to their earnings plate, so it should be a good time for investors. However, I do have a word of caution regarding United Health, which is a fantastic company to have in your stock portfolio in my opinion, which recently spilled the beans that their costs are on the rise. The reason for this is as older adults finally returned for pricey procedures, which were originally postponed during the pandemic, this could negatively impact the company's overall financials. In other news, you probably heard the Supreme Court struck down President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, and retailers are preparing for a hit to discretionary spending. But I think this is a golden opportunity for those financial institutions that specialize in refinancing student loans, like SoFi Technologies, which could soar in their share price even higher, so keep an eye out for that one. Now let's jump into autonomous driving developments. Hold on to your seats because this week the California regulators are expected to give the green light to Waymo and Cruise to run their driverless ride-hail services 24/7 all over San Francisco. This is a big deal, as the city currently has restrictions on when and where these driverless rides can take place. Waymo, which is owned by Google and Alphabet, as well as Cruise, are making their mark with standalone apps, and even Uber plans to jump on the Waymo train later this year. But let's not forget that Tesla is also in the race, trying to roll out their own robotaxis. So competition is heating up. In the long run, this will be great news for Uber and Tesla stockholders. Now let's jet across the pond to France, where Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA, will make a substantial investment linked to EV production over in Europe. Speaking of Tesla, they sold a staggering 74,212 electric vehicles in China last month. On top of that, they produced an additional 19,468 electric vehicles at their Shanghai Gigafactory for export. In our next story, we've got some explosive earnings expectations coming our way. Nvidia and Tesla's rivals, such as Li Auto as well as BYD, are expected to deliver jaw-dropping earnings. For example, Li Auto's earnings per share is expected to skyrocket a mind-blowing 4,000% in 2023. Yes, you heard that right. Li Auto is a name to remember with triple-digit growth on the horizon, which is absolutely amazing. But now let's talk about BYD, which is another Chinese automaker. They are projected to deliver a solid 45% growth in earnings per share in 2023, with a 31% gain in 2024. Next, let's talk about Nvidia stock. Their earnings are expected to soar by a jaw-dropping 108% for the fiscal year of 2024, and even with a slight 20% drop in quarter one, this is still really good news. For Nvidia and their NVDA stockholders, the year-over-year comparisons are looking very favorable for investors, and we can expect a tasty 39% pop in earnings per share in fiscal 2025. Oh, and before I forget, FSR, the electric vehicle company, made some headlines recently when they announced plans to raise some capital. Now, it's not uncommon to see a dip in the stock price after a company is raising capital. But overall, this move shows that FSR has access to the precious resource that all electric vehicle startups crave, and that would be on-demand cash and the ability to raise cash and capital. I also want to make you aware to tell you to keep an eye on other electric vehicle companies as well, which would include NIO as well as Lucid. On another note, let's dive into cryptocurrency news. We saw estimates from professionals that Bitcoin, BTC, could reach $50,000 this year before the end of 2023 and reach a staggering $120,000 by the end of 2024. So overall, I would say these are very positive news updates, and for more videos like this one, go and press that like button right now so you can stay informed about what is happening on the stock market. Also, don't forget to go and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one, so you can make wise investment decisions. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one, and happy investing.